Hey there, curious kids. Have you ever heard of an entire group of people who just disappeared without a trace? Well, today, we're going to dive into one of the biggest mysteries of all time, the story of the Anasazi, a super cool ancient civilization that built amazing cliff homes, and then one day they were gone. What happened to them? Where did they go? Get ready to explore their mysterious disappearance and see if you can help us solve the puzzle. Let's jump into it. Many years ago, in the rugged deserts of the American Southwest, there lived a fascinating group of people known as the Anasazi. The name Anasazi means ancient ones or ancient enemies in the Navajo language. The Anasazi lived in an area that is now part of 4 states: Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. What makes their story so mysterious is not just how they lived, but how they disappeared, vanishing without leaving behind any clear clues as to where they went or why they left. The Anasazi were brilliant builders. They didn't just make ordinary homes on flat land, they built their houses high up in the cliffs. These amazing homes, called cliff dwellings, were carved into the side of mountains. Imagine living in a home you could only reach by climbing ladders or steep trails. Some of their houses had several stories with hundreds of rooms. One of the most famous places where they lived is called Mesa Verde, which you can still visit today. It's like a giant stone village, sitting high in the cliffs, hidden from view. Not only were the Anasazi great builders, but they were also skilled farmers. Even though they lived in a dry desert, they found ways to grow corn, beans, and squash, making the most of the little water they had. They also made beautiful pottery and baskets, and they traded goods with other tribes. For over 1,000 years, the Anasazi lived in the desert, building their communities and thriving in an area that seemed too harsh for most people. But then, about 700 years ago, something very strange happened. Almost overnight, the Anasazi disappeared. Their cliff dwellings, once filled with life, were suddenly empty. Their fields, where they had grown food, were abandoned. Their pottery and tools were left behind, as if the people had simply gotten up and walked away, leaving everything behind. What could have happened? No one knows for sure, but people have tried to solve the mystery. Some think the Anasazi left because of a severe drought. It's true that during the time they disappeared, there was a long period of time when almost no rain fell. Without water, it would have been hard to grow food, and the Anasazi might have been forced to leave in search of a place with more water. Others believe that the Anasazi might have left because of conflict. There is evidence that different groups of people in the area were fighting over resources like food and water. Some historians think the Anasazi may have been attacked by neighboring tribes and were forced to flee their homes. There's also a theory that the Anasazi simply migrated, that they joined other groups of Native American people and blended into their cultures. The Hopi and Zuni tribes, who live in the Southwest today, say they are descendants of the Anasazi. Perhaps the Anasazi didn't vanish, but simply moved on to live among other people. Despite all these ideas, the truth remains a mystery. No one knows for certain what really happened to the Anasazi. Did they run out of water and leave their homes? Were they attacked by enemies? Or did they peacefully move on to another place, blending into other tribes? Imagine what it would have been like to live in one of those cliff dwellings. You could look out over the vast desert, seeing for miles and miles. Then one day everything changes. The sky grows dry and the land can no longer provide food. Maybe there's trouble with nearby tribes and your people are no longer safe. What would you do? Would you leave behind everything you knew and travel far away, hoping to find a better life? As you stand in the empty ruins of the cliff dwellings today, you can still feel the mystery in the air. The rooms are silent, but you can almost hear the echoes of people who once lived there, children playing, families sharing meals, and people building their stone homes. But now all of that is gone, and the mystery remains. What makes this mystery so puzzling is that the Anasazi left no written records behind. They had no books or scrolls to explain where they went or why they left. All we have are the clues they left behind: empty homes, broken pottery, and tools scattered across the desert, but no final answer. It's a mystery that still challenges archaeologists and historians today, hundreds of years later. And now, here's a riddle to see if you can figure out this mystery. They built high homes, hidden in stone, then vanished one day, leaving all alone. No one knows where they went or why. Can you solve the mystery? Give it a try. The answer to the riddle is, of course, the Anasazi. This story of the Anasazi is like a giant puzzle. All the pieces are there, the homes, the pottery, the tools, but the final picture is missing. The more we learn about the Anasazi, the more we realize how much we still don't know. It's a mystery that makes us wonder, where did they go and why did they leave? Will we ever find the answer, or will the Anasazi keep their secret forever? Wow, the mystery of the Anasazi is so fascinating, right? We may never know exactly what happened to them, but one thing is for sure. They left behind some incredible stories and clues that keep us guessing. What do you think happened to the Anasazi? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to give us a big if you love ancient mysteries like this one. If you're curious for more adventures, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on the fun here at Curious Kids HQ. Thanks for watching, and keep exploring, everyone. See you next time.